Hi everyone, my name is Danny.
I'm Bella.
We are missionary kids from Brazil, and we have the opportunity to be sharing with you today a little bit of how growing up in missions as a family, as brother and sister, as just being part of YM together means. So we have a few questions, a few things we'd like to talk about, and it's going to be pretty cool.
Okay, so how do you think Mom and Dad involved you in the ministry?
Okay, so this is a good question. From a young age, we were always involved. They always understood that, we're a part of it and we serve together as a family. It was never just their calling. It was never just mum and dad. It was always us and a part of it. So any important decision, any decisions really, they involved us as much as they could. Of course, we were not there in council meetings or staff meetings, for example, but if there was decisions that they really felt that were important for us to be involved, they called me in, they called you in, we prayed, we talked about it, we discussed. They were always very open about how things were going. And so I think that was a huge blessing to be involved and to know what my parents did for work and to live in community, live in what we were doing. For me, that was pretty special. Don't know how it was for you. How did mommy and daddy really make you feel involved?
That's basically the same. They never left us out of anything. We were always praying together, looking for the scripts in the Bible to help us understand, and they always tell us what was going on in the YWAM, what was the next decisions and how we could help. It was always the family, not just them.
Yeah, I think, even with trips, I think we had a really cool experience last year of traveling together and seeking God together. Okay, is this something that we as a family are going to do? And we prayed about it, we seeked words, and I think they never made us feel like we're too young to be a part of it. So it was really special. Okay, I also have a question now. Okay, so how did mom and dad help you identify gifts and abilities in your life?
Well, it's a good one, yeah.
Cool.
Anyway, they were always just there, they were always present and helping me learn the instruments I always wanted to learn, and every time I wanted to dance, they would always clap, they would always be present and helping me, even though maybe I didn't dance so good back then.
So good?
Wow, I did English. And I guess that was really important because I knew they always supported me and they always loved me and they would be next to me in any decision that I wanted to do. So, what about you?
The same, I agree with you.
Yeah,
that's cute. But I think they opened lots of opportunities for us to. For me, it was like with football, it was with music, with piano lessons, with school as well. We both had the opportunity to go to the same school and study at a really good school, a good Christian school, and that really just opened really good opportunities. And they just really supported us. They just really cared, really present, and I think that was one of the huge blessings of having them in my life and being part of that. So that was really, really cool and special. Okay, so Bella, this time I have a question for you. So this is out of the blue, but how is it for you to just tell people what mom and dad do? How would you describe that?
It's always been a little bit complicated because not everyone understands what they do, what we do, because we're doing it as a family, but usually I use the name YWAM, which is
Youth with
a Mission. And sometimes I throw in that my parents work with family and that my mom loves to listen and help people. That my dad really enjoys to teach teenage boys and that they work with families and they do schools for family and not just for families but for young people who are looking and seeking to know God better.
I think for me as well, that was always a challenge for me when I was growing up was, what do your parents do? And I was like, they're missionaries. Cool. So they came with that concept of missionaries. They always go to Africa or whatever. But it was not our context. It was with mom and dad. They were working with street kids, or they were working with DTSs, with ministries, with local ministries. So it was always just this is what they do. They really understand that God has called them to Brazil and to bless people here and to make Him known. And that has changed through different ministries throughout the years, but that they continue with the same heart to serve God and to know Him and to make Him known. And that goes for me and you as well. It goes for me. So yeah, I'd say that's how I describe what Mum and Dad do and what we do. And obviously the financial part is always interesting, always funny to explain to people, but they've always been super clear with finances as well. It is, yeah, it's God who provides, and that's really the answer. It really is faith driven. It really is, yeah, it's not in our control, and that is crazy for the world, but it's the way we live, and God has been so generous, and we are so blessed in so many ways. So yeah, it's pretty cool.
The next question is, how do you think they helped us grow in our relationship with God?
You answer first.
Well, I made the question. Okay, so since I was extremely little, Mommy would always tell me that the Bible is a way that I can know God, because I can't exactly see Him, but I can hear Him and I can know Him. Not just throughout the Bible, but I can also pray and I can just sit quiet and wait for Him to tell me. And I actually really enjoy to read the Bible because of it, because it's a form that I can know Him and be prepared to when He wants to talk to me, because then I'll truly know that that's God speaking to me. And not just that, but when my dad used to put me to bed, he lays down there and he says, okay, so we're going to pray. And it was in bed that I learned to say the fruits of the Spirit, and in bed that I learned how to pray and talk to God. So it's always been interesting, and I love it. Now you.
Okay, Nina. I think they led by example. Their life story is the biggest example of how following Christ is significant, and it has changed me and shaped me to the person I am today. It's because of their obedience. So I see that obedience day in and day out with Daddy waking up early to read his Bible, and with Mummy always praying, and being so aware of God's presence. I think both Mum and Dad do a really good job of making us aware that God is present in everything we do, and really inviting us to just be a part of what they do already and not forcing upon us. I think that was something that we were talking with Dad today, is that he never wanted to force it. He wanted to make it something natural, and I think he made us curious. I think he gave us enough information about who God is and how wonderful He is, and the beauty of the gospel, the beauty of Jesus. That was enough to just, reach me, reach you, transform, and to continue to transform us. So I think that's pretty cool, and it's a walk, and that we do it together. I think that's something cool. We always exchange and invite each other to do things together. So it's a challenge. I think I remember as well when we were back on the base, when we lived on base, it was something that we had a little bit different from when we lived here. That we would actually have, we would always get together and pray and have our own meetings and sing together. That's something we do here as well.
Yeah.
Of making it a habit of just worshiping and seeking God together as a family. So I think that's something that in the beginning, especially during when I was a bit of a teenager, I didn't really enjoy it. It was not something that I was like, I really want to do this, but it was never forced upon me, so I was always free to be a part, and I wanted to be part of the family, be part of what my parents are doing, what Bella's doing. So I think that's where my faith has been developed, that's where my faith has been strengthened, is through their own testimony, through their own lives. I live with them, so we live with them. And we get to see that they actually live what they say, what they preach. So that encourages me as well to live in that way and to know how to live.
Yeah.
But I think growing as missionary kids in Brazil, and with the outside world not really understanding, it's always been lots of interesting questions being asked, and different opportunities arising, but using the gifts God has given us and facing the challenges. I think we've seen I think there's a blessing of being part of everything, and also there's, I think it's all blessing for sure, but there is a weight to it, there is a responsibility. We know the pains, we know the costs that it is to serve God, and that's a joyful thing, that's supposed to be joyful, but we know that it can be tiring and it can be tough and difficult. But I'm glad that Mummy and Daddy haven't hidden that from us, haven't told us that it's all beautiful and all flowers, as we say in Portuguese, nem tudo flores, not all flowers. But I think to see that, yeah, life is not always like the books. But yeah, this is a little bit about us. We grew up in Brazil. We have street kids in our house for my first 10 years of my life. And we moved on to where my parents went to base leading and all the elements that involve that. So I think time management was something they had to learn. We have to learn it. How do we give enough time for each part of our lives? How do we invest time in our families? And that was something that we, as a family, really needed to learn. That my parents really struggled with, but we saw and we walked with them and we shared. I think that's something really special is we cry together, and that's really good. So I want to encourage you guys to share your lives, be part of each other's lives, pray with each other, cry with each other, laugh with each other, and be together. So yeah, this is a little bit of our lives and how it is to grow up in missions. I hope this is insightful. I hope this was fun.
Yeah,
and this is
to know how it is to be missionary kids in Brazil.
Yeah, so be blessed. And that's us.
Yeah.
Thank you.